I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous about doing this. I can do it, but it doesn't mean I'm not nervous about it. Well, 'tis another day, and I'm back here working on Penny again. I'm actually by myself again today, and I'm working on another project that I was by myself again last time. Kenneth happens to be out in Moab right now enjoying the Red Rocks. I did not join him because part of what I'm working on today is prep for an event coming up rather quickly, Rock Junction. At Rock Junction, I'll be running some buggy trails, and I wanted to make absolutely sure that Penny is ready not only to tackle the trails, but if anything bad should happen, to be recovered on the trails. And that is where my problem today lies. You might also ask, well, where's Roy? Roy isn't here either because he is working on one really cool rig. Poison Ivy is owned by Bill Adams, and this rig is just a gorgeous hot rod. Roy, as you know, has done a ton of the wiring on Penny, and he's taking his wiring skills to help Bill with that particular task on Poison Ivy. So he is busy in another town right now with Bill, leaving me to do what I need to do. I got this. This isn't going to be so bad, but I do want to show you that this is a 3-part problem, and I'm going to be tackling all 3 of the issues, hopefully, in one day today. I'll show you what they are. So there's our culprits. Neither of these items can easily be used on my front bumper. Only one of them should be used on my rear bumper. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. All right, let's talk about the hard shackle first. Come on, do you see the problem? It barely fits. And no, if you can see the line up there, the bolt will not go through. The new Yankum Fairlead is in the way. The plan is to slash it there. I know it's going to make it so that the rope will show. You can kind of see on this side, the rope is a little bit loose, but if I pull it tight, you can see that the rope tucks nicely back there when it's tight. But I think even dragging off a little angle there is not going to interfere with the rope base staying tucked there, especially if I could draw it a little tighter than what I have it now. Now, when it comes to a soft shackle, yeah, I can get it in there, I can massage it in, I can pull it down, and when you get to the harder casing, it becomes more of a challenge. So that little nip tuck there will help as well. But there's another problem, and it's not the Yankum Fairlead that's the problem. This time it's the Motobilt bumper, and it's the same problem front and rear. I don't know why I didn't notice this sooner. Notice the edges here. They are flat, 90 degree. That is going to tear up a soft shackle in nothing flat. So when I try to use this, it's just causing more damage to, well, somewhat expensive equipment. So the second problem is to fix this. So the fix to the second problem is going to be taking an air tool and chamfering this edge a bit on both sides. And that's true also over here. And it's also true on the rear bumper. Same problem. Now, I could always use a hard shackle and then put my soft shackle on that. But what's the point of doing that? And I definitely don't want to use just hard shackles. I really like what soft shackles bring to the party. So we're going to make these holes soft shackle friendly with a slight chamfer here. And here's problem number 3. Well, obviously, when I cut these, it's going to ruin all this beautiful powder coating. The bumper, it came to me raw steel, and it was painted with VHT epoxy. Well, it's not holding up. So the next step in that process will be to clean up the bumper, and I'm going to try an enamel paint on it, commercial enamel, and see if I can get that to hold up any better than the epoxy paint that has been used on this before. And I will be doing that on the front and the rear. So now you've seen the 3 problems I'm hoping to solve today. I can do all this by myself. I'm looking forward to getting it done by myself. And I think that this is going to help Penny out tremendously when it comes to the safety and ability of people to recover her when I'm stuck on an obstacle. I don't want it to be a challenge for any of my spotters or helpers. I want to be able to get everything done safely, securely, and not hurt anyone first and foremost, but also not hurt any of my equipment either. So that's why I'm doing this today. This is not a fault of either Yankum or Motobilt. Anytime you mix vendors, it's possible you're going to come up with something that's incompatible. And that's exactly what happened here. So if you intend to run a stubby front Motobilt bumper with a Yankum Fairlead, this video might give you some very valuable information on what might need to be done in order to make sure that that particular combination will work for you. So the next thing I want to do is, remember, I have a sun allergy. The sun is really, really bright. As much as I like having the pure natural light here, I need to move her to the garage so that I can get this work done and not have, not turn into a lobster. So that will be the next step. Then I'm going to get into problem 1, trimming up the Fairlead. So the first step in this process of problem 1 is going to be figuring out how much I need to trim this back. So here's the problem close up, and you can see no fitty. So what I need to do is open up this angle a little bit, and I'm planning on just a simple 45-degree slash that I will chamfer to match this and try to make it look pretty. Now, I have probably not the right tool, but it seems to be working just fine. Just a regular speed square. And I can play with it by using the recovery point as a straight edge to help me get a nice 45-degree angle. So I can slide it up and down to figure out how much I need. And you can see by the black dots, I've already been doing a little bit of that. This seemed a bit much to me. If I was to draw a straight line on this first dot, sure, I would have plenty of room, but do I really need that much room? I don't really think so. So I tried a couple more, so you can see, get it square, slide it up. So there would be the second one, and big one, but there would be the third. And I've determined that I think the third is going to give me what I need. But I'm also going to use the premise of let's cut off as little as possible and sneak up on it. That way, if I need to, I don't overcut, and I can always cut off more. So we're going to start with that line. And let's see, I had my pen already. So what I've done is not only do I hold it square and put it beside, I've also highlighted this one to tell me that on the other side, I need that point to be at about there so that I can ensure that I'm making the same cut on both sides. So straight line. I watched a video from Holly today. She was, working on some Artec truss, and, she was saying, I wasn't proud of my straight lines. Holly, that's what gave me the idea to use the speed square. So thank you. So there it is. And I'm pretty sure, well, am I sure that that will work? I may have to go to the next one because by the time I get it lined up, okay, now I'm second guessing myself. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to the middle line. I know, all that talk, and then I changed my mind. But you know what? That's what fabrication's all about. And yes, I know this is not fabrication. This is what? Unfabrication. So that line is a little bit taller now. Obviously, it's just not very much. And that should better accommodate the top here. So yeah, we're gonna go with the second line. So, checking back here. That would be the 6 is where it's meeting there. So, okay, 6 is on the other side. I'll go mark up the other side and we'll go from there. Okie dokie, both sides are marked up. I am going to take this off and I'm going to draw it all the way back so that it is completely out of the way of anything. I have a cut there and I have a cut there on the deeper line to make. Let's get set up for that cut. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous about doing this. I can do it, but it doesn't mean I'm not nervous about it. All right, one thing I want to check really quick that I didn't check before is in here there's a post. Do I believe I'm going to be cutting into that post? And I don't think I am. I think I'm actually in a really good spot here. I'm about as deep as I can get, but I think I'm in a really good spot. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. Not as through as I thought I was. All right. Oh, that would be why. Okay. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Remember I said I thought I wasn't into the post? Yeah, I am. See that, how it's in the back there? Whoop. It's in the back there. It's hitting the post. I've cut through the round part. Yeah, I didn't want to take this off. Looks like I may have to, and that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. I can do it. So when I was running through this project with Kenneth and my project plan for when he was gone, we both agreed that, yeah, we probably won't have to take the Fairlead off. We'd probably just do it in place and it wouldn't take very long at all. He's right, except for where I put my line. So I'm trying to show you this from the back side while I've got the Fairlead in the vise. You see this line and where it's coming through, where the rope rests? Yeah, that's kind of a problem. So what I need to do is finish this line, but then I want to go in a downward stroke there. And then I'll polish this up so that it doesn't cut the line when it's stored there. Remember, this is just a storage point, but I still don't want any damage happening to the fibers. So, live and learn, but we'll get this taken care of. This is not going to be an easy cut, and I may have the camera in the wrong place because I'm going to need to get in there and see. But I did angle, I repositioned it, I flipped it, and then I angled it so that I'm working pretty much in a more horizontal angle and I'm not having to squitch and squelch to try to make sure I'm getting everything centered the way I want it to be. Okay, I flipped the camera around. I'm trying to be nice. This way I can work better and have more control of the tool, which is important to me. I think I like how that's coming along. Typical GoPro, overheated, and it's not even all that hot out today. But, oh well. I'm finished with the modifications. At least I hope I am. I haven't done test fit yet. But I chamfered all of the edges with a flap disc, and it looks pretty good. Now, the angle is slightly different. Okay, this one did not get into the post, so there's still a little lip here. Boy, that's smooth. And then this one did. So this cut is a little bit deeper. It'll be interesting to see if they work well, or if I'm going to have to come back and cut this one a little bit more. And of course, this one would be passenger side. This one's driver's side. Let's go mount this sucker up and see how I did. All right, just going to pop a couple bolts in here. No fastening quite yet. That's why I'm not touching my my plate holder. And the other one's right here. Oops, if I drop it. Okay, that's roughly in place. I'm going to hold it just where it would be. Got it. Got it. And let's double check. Helper comes in. Gets it on the correct side. Suppose I should have been doing that too, huh? And that comes in like so. Tightened up. It can move. Okay, that works well on this side. And this, remember, this one that didn't get into the post, so this is the tighter side. So if I take it out, come back over here. Oh, didn't flip that. You can see, I mean, I think I'm doing just fine here. Yep, I think I got it. Need to paint this up. Other than that, that'll be done as part of the problem 3 solve. I am calling this one done. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm loving the way that fits, and I think that's great. So now we're going to move on to problem the 2nd. And that is these hard edges right here. It's a 90-degree angle, and again, I'm worried about it chopping up my my soft shackles. I've got one soft shackle here, but I bought 2 others at EJS, and I don't want them to get prematurely damaged. I'm not going to be drilling out the hole. I'm not going to make the hole any bigger, but I am just going to try to round that out and try to make it so that it can do what it needs to do. Now, on the Fairlead, I used a flap disc to get rid of any sharp edges, but as you can see, a flap disc has no chance of fitting in here. So I have been outfitted with an air grinder with a little grinder tool, grinder tip. And I'm simply going to use this and come in and chamfer it out that way by hand. I don't think I necessarily need to get back here. Because the pulling force is going to be this way, and there's going to be more hanging force. So top edge, yeah, maybe if it's a small one or a big one and it's having a hard time fitting through the hole, but back edge I'm not necessarily going to worry about, and that's probably good because that angle is kind of hard to get at. You guys see that? Yeah. So that's what I'm going to be doing now, and we'll get that going. Okay, I'm going to make a quick stop here. I'm already feeling lots of metal being shot up at me. That's kind of the nature of the beast. That's what happens here. My glasses are safety glasses. I made sure that every time I buy them, I make sure that, you know, they make them the polycarbonate safety glasses. But I'm feeling everything. So I'm going to go see if I can find a hood. That way I don't have to deal with so much of that metal particulate, possibly even getting behind my glasses, up my nose and my mouth, all that. I just don't want to deal with that today. So let me do that, and then I'll come back and resume work here. Face shield, ears, cute, huh? Nose, ready to get going. All right, back from lunch, back from a trip into town to get some paint. We are on phase 3. Phase 1 and 2 already covered. I'm really happy with how the recovery points came out here. They look really good. So next is to get it repainted. Now, in the past, as you saw, I've been using VHT. And I can't tell you why, but for whatever reason, it's just not sticking like it used to. Maybe you've had the same problem. I don't know. Roy wants to paint his entire MJ with a implement enamel, and I have no experience with that. I'm happy to paint his rig for him, and I intend to, but I would like to get some experience with implement enamel. I thought I'd be a good chance to paint this bumper with enamel, although I didn't exactly get the implement enamel that Roy's thinking about. I got Rust Dot from Rust-Oleum, or actually it's from Ace. From Big Toolbox here in Parker, and I picked it because it's a direct-to-metal enamel. The other part we have with this bumper is that I hit it on rocks. She's a rock crawler. I hit her on rocks. So doing something direct to metal means I don't have to worry about primer and that kind of stuff if I'm doing touch-ups. Just a quick spray and go. So I am going to give this a try and see how this goes for me. I've already done most of the prep. I should do one more coat of pre to clean up the metal, but you can see I've got the winch well covered. I've got the little bolts covered that I don't want coated in paint, so that if we ever decide to take them off later, we can. And the lights have been removed, and I've stuffed some stuff in there into the riv nuts so that we don't get a bunch of paint in there and I have to go chasing threads. So, one last cleanup, on to painting. Let that dry. We'll let that dry and we'll go for a second coat. I'll bring you back when I've got all the coats on. All right, I'm done. 3 problems addressed. 1, could not use a hard shackle. 2, the edges of the recovery point were too sharp to use soft shackles correctly. And 3, I think she needed a paint touch-up. Let me show you how it turned out. All in all, I'm really proud of how this project turned out. I'm really glad I could do it myself, and it wasn't terribly difficult. I mean, obviously the scariest part was using the cutoff wheel, and those things are always scary no matter how much experience you have. They can really mess you up quick if you're not very careful, so that's why I went so slow. But honestly, I think we're going to be able to use these much more effectively now. And if I get stuck on 21 Road or Billings Canyon, which are the 2 trails I'm signed up for at Grand Junction, I know that they'll be able to recover me safely with any of the recovery tools that they might have at their disposal. So, happy about this one. And hey, thanks for watching.